Somewhere right now, people are dancing with the bones of their ancestors and settling disputes with an annual Christmas Day fistfight. These aren't lost customs, they are living traditions. We've found 48 of the world's most bizarre cultural practices still happening today, each one a stunning look into a reality completely different from your own. 1. Imagine a job interview. They ask, "What are your special skills?" And you say, "I'm really good at catching a charging 1,000-pound bull with my face." In Portugal, that's a real position. They're called forcados, and after the main bullfight, this team of 8 unarmed men enters the ring. Their sole purpose is to form a human battering ram, with one man goading the bull into a head-on collision while the others pile on. This isn't a sport, it's a team-building exercise designed by a madman. 2. How much do you trust your neighbors? Enough to play catch with them? Now, what if the ball was your newborn baby, and the throw was from a 3-story building? In parts of rural India, this isn't a hypothetical, it's a sacred ritual. For centuries, infants have been dropped from the top of temples into a sheet held by villagers below. The terrifying fall is believed to bless the child with lifelong health and luck. It's a profound display of faith where the stakes are, quite literally, life and death. 3. In Ghana, your funeral might be the most vibrant and creative party of your life, all thanks to your coffin. For the Ga people, a coffin isn't just a box, it's the ultimate final status symbol, a fantasy coffin designed to celebrate your life's passion. A fisherman might be buried in a giant wooden fish, a successful farmer in a massive chili pepper, a taxi driver in a meticulously crafted Mercedes-Benz. These aren't morbid jokes. They are breathtaking works of art, built to honor a person's identity and send them off to the afterlife in style. It's a beautiful tradition that turns a somber farewell into one last glorious parade. 4. Step 1. Find a shaman. Step 2. Let him burn several small holes into your skin. Step 3. Allow him to apply fresh, potent frog poison into the open wounds. This isn't a torture method. It's a sacred cleansing ritual from the Brazilian Amazon called combo. The immediate result is a full-body shutdown involving violent purging. But why? Practitioners claim it's a spiritual and physical hard reset, clearing out toxins and negative energy. It's like defragging your soul with venom. 5. We live in an age of quantum computing and satellites that can read a newspaper from space. And yet, every February, the entire nation of America agrees to get its most critical long-range weather forecast from a large ground squirrel. A creature named Punxsutawney Phil is pulled from a stump, and a group of men in tuxedos interprets his reaction to his own shadow. We don't just tolerate this absurdity, we celebrate it. It's the greatest national prank we pull on ourselves every single year. 6. Is a work of art still a masterpiece if it's destined to rot in a few hours? And what if that masterpiece is made entirely out of a radish? Welcome to Oaxaca, Mexico's Noche de Rabanos. For one night, a town square becomes a gallery of the most intricate sculptures you've ever seen, all carved from a root vegetable. These incredible creations wilt almost immediately, making the festival a breathtaking and slightly insane celebration of creating something beautiful for no reason other than that you can. 7. Picture the scene. A man in a garish yellow devil costume is sprinting down a cobblestone street. In his path lie several mattresses, and on them, rows of newborn babies. He doesn't stop. He hurdles over them one by one. This isn't a scene from a bizarre horror film. It's a 400-year-old Spanish baptism ritual called El Colacho. The jump is believed to cleanse the infants of original sin. It's a parenting choice that says, "I trust in both God and the athletic ability of this stranger in a demon suit." 8. Here's your official guide to celebrating Easter Monday in the Czech Republic. First, forget the chocolate bunnies. Instead, you'll need to braid a whip out of fresh willow branches. Next, go door to door and lightly spank the local women on their legs. The goal of this bizarre ritual, called pomlaska, is to bestow health and fertility. Your reward for this service? Hand-painted eggs, and, more importantly, shots of high-proof brandy. It's the world's weirdest bartering system. 9. While most of the Western world spends Christmas Day exchanging gifts and trying to avoid political arguments, a community in the Peruvian Andes has a much more direct approach to conflict resolution. They call it takanakui. On December 25th, anyone with a lingering grudge can challenge their rival to a no-holds-barred public fistfight. After a winner is declared, the opponents shake hands, share a drink, and start the new year with a completely clean slate. Peace on Earth, achieved through strategic punching. 10. Thinking about getting married? Here's a powerful pre-wedding counseling exercise from Germany. It's called Polterabend. The night before your wedding, invite all your friends and family to your home and instruct them to smash an enormous pile of porcelain, plates, sinks, even toilets at your feet. The noise wards off evil spirits. Then, you and your partner must clean up every last shard of the ceramic wasteland together. If your relationship can survive that, it can survive anything. 11. What if a tree could declare a truce? In Queensland, Australia, it does. Every 3 years, the bunya pine produces a massive harvest, and for thousands of years, this event has triggered an ancient tradition. Indigenous tribes, including sworn enemies, would put down their weapons and travel hundreds of miles to a neutral gathering spot. They'd feast, trade, and settle affairs, all under a temporary peace treaty dictated not by humans, but by the life cycle of a plant. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes nature is the best diplomat we have. 12. So, you're getting married in Scotland. Congratulations. Now, prepare for the blackening. On the eve of your wedding, your dearest friends will kidnap you, tie you to a post, and anoint you with a holy mixture of tar, spoiled milk, and rotten eggs. The public humiliation is said to prepare you for the hardships of married life by warding off evil spirits. The underlying logic seems to be that after being tarred and feathered by your best man, nothing your future spouse does will ever seem that bad. 13. For the Shure warriors of the Amazon, killing an enemy was only half the job. The real work began afterward. To prevent the soul from seeking revenge, they had to trap it, and the vessel for that trap was the enemy's own shrunken head. The process was horrifyingly meticulous, skinning the skull, boiling the flesh, and shrinking it with hot sand until it was the size of a fist. It wasn't a trophy. It was a spiritual prison, a truly chilling intersection of warfare, craftsmanship, and the supernatural. 14. After months of unending polar night, you do anything to celebrate the sun's return. But for the Nenets herders of Siberia, that celebration is a matter of brutal survival. A reindeer is sacrificed, and its fresh, warm blood is immediately drunk by the participants, who then eat slices of the raw meat. Before you get squeamish, understand this. In the frozen tundra, this ritual is one of the only ways to get the vital nutrients and vitamins needed to survive. It's a stark, visceral communion between the people and the animals that keep them alive. 15. For one glorious day, young boys in Myanmar get to live like princes before becoming paupers. During the Shinbu festival, they are dressed in the finest silks, adorned with gold, and given elaborate makeup to reenact the life of Prince Siddhartha before he became the Buddha. They parade through the streets on horseback like conquering heroes. Then, the spectacle ends. At the temple, they trade all the finery for a simple monk's robe, a stunning visual lesson in the fleeting nature of wealth and the pursuit of humility. 16. Finland, a nation known for its quiet reserve and love of saunas, has also given the world the single greatest athletic event ever conceived, the wife-carrying world championships. A man must haul a woman, who, in a progressive twist, doesn't have to be his wife, through a grueling obstacle course. The most effective technique involves the woman dangling upside down on his back. And the prize? The winner receives his partner's weight in beer. It's a perfect athletic loop. You earn a back injury and the alcohol to forget about it in one go. 17. You see an adorable baby. What's your first instinct? To say, "So cute." A Greek grandmother's first instinct might be to spit. Not aggressively, but a gentle ftu, ftu, ftu. This is a defense against the evil eye, a curse supposedly triggered by excessive praise or jealousy. The act of spitting is believed to deflect the bad juju. So if you see it happen, don't be offended. You're not witnessing a rude gesture, you're watching a magical bodyguard at work. 18. In most competitions, crying is a sign that you've lost. But at the Naki Sumo Festival in Japan, tears are the entire point. Two hulking sumo wrestlers each take a baby into their arms and do everything they can to make the infant cry first. They make monstrous faces, roar, and gently jiggle the babies until one finally cracks. The loudest and longest wail wins, as the sound is believed to frighten away demons and ensure good health. It's the one place on Earth where a screaming baby gets a round of applause. 19. England has a long history of inventing bizarre sports, but few are as painfully specific as the annual World Shin-Kicking Championships. The rules are brutally simple. Two competitors face each other, grab onto each other's collars, and then proceed to kick each other in the shins until one of them falls over. To soften the blows, they're allowed to stuff their trouser legs with straw. It's a test of pure, unadulterated pain tolerance, a martial art for people who have lost a bet. It's a glorious, wince-inducing spectacle that proves humans will turn literally anything into a competition. 20. Here's a simple recipe for absolute chaos. First, take 10,000 men. Second, strip them down to nothing but a loincloth in the dead of winter. Finally, throw one tiny sacred wooden stick into the crowd and tell them whoever gets it will have a year of good fortune. This is Japan's Hadaka Matsuri, or Naked Festival. What ensues is less a festival and more a human tsunami, a frantic and sweaty battle for a shot at happiness. It's like Black Friday for your soul. 21. In our modern age of fleeting digital romance, the Welsh offer a refreshingly permanent symbol of affection: a hand-carved wooden spoon. This isn't just a piece of cutlery. A love spoon is a declaration. For centuries, a young man would pour hours of his life into carving intricate symbols into the wood, each with a specific meaning. A chain meant a desire to be together forever. A key signified that his home was hers, and a wheel was a solemn promise to work hard for her. It's a profound gesture, proving your love not with a quick purchase but with skill, time, and devotion. 22. After a week of non-stop partying during Carnival, how does Spain officially call it quits? With the most dramatic and absurd event imaginable, a full-dress funeral procession for a sardine. The Entierro de la Sardina sees entire townsfolk, clad in the blackest mourning attire, weeping and wailing with theatrical grief as they follow a tiny ornate coffin carrying a fish effigy. This mock tragedy culminates in the burial or burning of the sardine, a surreal and hilarious ritual to signal that the party is well and truly dead. 23. In Denmark, your 25th birthday can be a bit spicy, especially if you're single. Your friends and family will lovingly celebrate your milestone by ambushing you, tying you to the nearest solid object, and then dousing you head to toe in a cloud of cinnamon. This fragrant public shaming dates back to the days of traveling spice merchants who often missed their chance at marriage. And the tradition escalates. If you're still single at 30, they upgrade the cinnamon to coarse ground pepper. It's a wonderfully passive-aggressive way for your relatives to say, "We adore you, but the clock is ticking." 24. Every year, a vibrant and joyous celebration erupts across Mexico, one that views death not with fear, but with love and remembrance. This is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Families build elaborate altars or ofrendas in their homes, decorated with marigold flowers, sugar skulls, and the favorite foods of their departed relatives. They believe that for one night, the spirits of the dead return to feast and celebrate with the living. It's a profoundly beautiful tradition that transforms graveyards into festival grounds and grief into a colorful, loving reunion. 25. The people of Catalonia, Spain, have perfected the art of building skyscrapers out of human bodies. This is the sport of castels, a breathtaking spectacle where teams, or collies, compete to construct the tallest, most complex human towers imaginable. These living structures, sometimes reaching 10 stories, rely on a massive foundation of people called the piña, who support the entire weight. The tower is only deemed complete when a small, fearless child, the encineta, scrambles to the absolute peak and raises a triumphant hand. It is the most powerful metaphor for community you will ever see. 26. In one Balinese village, they have a unique form of conflict resolution and a coming-of-age trial rolled into one, the Pandan Battle. Armed with thorny pandan leaf whips and small rattan shields, young men engage in ritualized one-on-one combat. The objective is to scratch and whip your opponent. And drawing blood is not only expected, it's considered a sacred offering to the gods of war. But there are no hard feelings. Afterwards, all wounds are treated with traditional medicine, and the entire community celebrates together, proving that sometimes a little ritualized violence is good for bonding. 27. La Tomatina is what happens when you give an entire town a license for total, vegetable-based anarchy. For one glorious, chaotic hour, the Spanish town of Buñol becomes the world's largest food fight. More than 100 metric tons of overripe, squishy tomatoes are unleashed upon thousands of participants who hurl them with reckless abandon. The streets run deep with a river of pulp and seeds in what can only be described as a joyous, citywide war. It's the one place where being covered in a sticky red mess is a badge of honor. 28. In the West, death is often treated as a final, sorrowful separation. But for the Malagasy people of Madagascar, the connection to family is so powerful, it literally transcends the grave. During the Famadihana festival, they express this belief in a beautiful and profound way. Families open their ancestral tombs not to mourn, but to honor. They carefully lift the remains of their loved ones, gently rewrapping them in fresh silk shrouds. This is an act of continued care and love. The celebration that follows with music and dance isn't a party with corpses. It's a joyous family reunion with beloved ancestors, treating them as honored guests and sharing the news of the community. It's a powerful affirmation that those who have passed are never truly gone. 29. Growing up, you were likely told that Santa Claus keeps a list and checks it twice. In parts of Germany and for the Pennsylvania Dutch, the system is far more efficient and terrifying. Meet Belsnickel, Santa's grimy, fur-clad enforcer who shows up before Christmas. He doesn't just have a list. He has a switch in one hand for the naughty kids and candy in the other for the good ones. He makes children perform on the spot, recite a poem, sing a song, before delivering his instant judgment. It's a remarkably effective, if slightly traumatic, method of ensuring everyone is on their best behavior for the holidays. 30. Before video games, people had to get creative with their entertainment. And sometimes, creative meant unbelievably barbaric. Case in point, goose pulling. The original version of this charming pastime involved greasing up a live goose, hanging it by its feet, and having men on horseback try to rip its head off at a full gallop. Today, the goose is thankfully no longer alive, but the tradition serves as a stark reminder that the good old days were often anything but. 31. Our modern obsession with gleaming white teeth is a relatively new invention. For centuries in Japan, the absolute pinnacle of beauty and sophistication was a smile of lustrous, jet-black teeth. The tradition of ohaguro was far more than a simple fashion choice. It was a deeply meaningful cultural practice. For married women and members of the aristocracy, blackening their teeth was a visible declaration of their status, maturity, and civility. The unchanging solid black color was considered more beautiful and enduring than natural teeth. Beyond aesthetics, the iron-based lacquer provided a huge practical benefit. It sealed the enamel, significantly preventing tooth decay. It was a perfect fusion of beauty, status, and health. 32. In the small English town of Ottery St. Mary, they celebrate the autumn season not with pumpkins but with pure, unadulterated danger. During the annual tar barrel racing, brave or foolish, townsfolk hoist wooden barrels soaked in tar, set them ablaze, and then run with these massive flaming burdens on their shoulders through the crowded streets. The tradition is a thrilling, terrifying spectacle of fire and speed that defies every modern health and safety regulation imaginable. It's a visceral connection to a past when life was simply more perilous. 33. For centuries, the people of Gloucestershire, England, have answered a question no one else thought to ask. What happens if you chase a 9-pound wheel of cheese down a nearly vertical hill? The answer is the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling, a glorious and bone-breaking tradition. An entire wheel of double Gloucester cheese is sent rolling down a treacherous slope, and dozens of competitors launch themselves after it, tumbling and cartwheeling chaotically to the bottom. The cheese can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. The humans, not so much. The first person to cross the finish line wins the cheese. It's so dangerous it's often officially canceled, but thousands show up to do it anyway, proving that some traditions are worth a few broken bones. 34. The Hindu festival of Thaipusam is one of the most intense and visceral displays of religious devotion you will ever witness. To honor the god of war, followers enter a deep trance and pierce their bodies with skewers, lances, and elaborate hooks. Some carry enormous altars called kavadi that are literally anchored to their flesh. And here is the truly staggering part. They report feeling no pain and often shed no blood, believing their faith acts as a literal, supernatural anesthetic. It's a humbling sight that draws a very clear line between casual belief and all-consuming faith. 35. In the Philippines, the joy of Easter is announced with a tradition that is equal parts beautiful and nerve-wracking. Just before dawn, two processions meet, one with a statue of the risen Christ, the other with a statue of Mary in a black mourning veil. To symbolize the end of grief, a young girl dressed as an angel is carefully lowered from a high scaffold on ropes. Her mission is to lift the black veil from Mary's face as the sun rises. It's a stunning moment of symbolism, but you can't help but hold your breath watching a child suspended over a massive crowd. 36. This next tradition comes with a serious warning for your gag reflex. In Sardinia, Italy, there is a legendary and deeply challenging cheese known as casu marzu. It's a block of pecorino that is intentionally left open for cheese flies to lay their eggs inside. Those eggs hatch into thousands of live translucent larvae that digest the cheese, creating a uniquely soft, pungent texture. The maggots are eaten along with the cheese and can jump up to 6 inches when disturbed. It is considered a delicacy, and eating it is the culinary equivalent of looking death in the eye and laughing. 37. In the Tanah Toraja highlands of Indonesia, death isn't a sudden departure. It's a very, very slow transition. When someone passes away, their family doesn't consider them dead, but rather sick or asleep. They lovingly preserve the body and keep it in the home for months, sometimes even years, continuing to bring it food, water, and conversation. This practice allows for a prolonged, gentle grieving process, erasing the harsh finality of death. It also means you might be invited over to a friend's house and find their deceased great-uncle sitting in the guest room. 38. Once a year in Lopburi, Thailand, the town throws an absurdly lavish feast for its most chaotic residents. Thousands of macaque monkeys. The Monkey Buffet Festival is a gesture of thanks to the primates for driving tourism. We're talking pyramids of fruit, mountains of sticky rice, and countless cans of soda, all laid out on tables for the monkeys to descend upon. What follows is a furry whirlwind of glorious anarchy. It's the only buffet on Earth where the guests are expected to steal food, start fights, and swing from the decorations. 39. What's the most pain you can imagine? Now multiply it. The Satare Mawe people of the Amazon have a coming-of-age ritual that revolves around the bullet ant, whose sting is rated as the most painful insect sting in the world. To become a man, A boy must put his hands into a pair of woven gloves filled with dozens of these angry living bullets and endure the agony for 10 minutes while dancing. But that's just the first time. He has to repeat this ordeal a total of 20 times throughout his life. It makes every other rite of passage look like a children's party. 40. For a young Maasai warrior, the final step in becoming a respected elder involves a ritual that is profoundly primal. During the Unoto ceremony, a cow, which is sacred to the Maasai, is ritually suffocated to avoid spilling its blood on the ground. Its jugular vein is then carefully pierced, and the warriors drink the warm blood directly from the animal, often mixed with milk. This act is not for shock value. It's believed to impart the animal's strength, courage, and life force directly into the warrior. It's a powerful, visceral communion that binds the man to his culture and his herd. 41. While most of the world is content with fireworks on New Year's Eve, the Shetland Islands of Scotland go for something a little more epic. Their festival, Up Helly Ea, is a full-blown Viking firepocalypse. An elected Viking chief leads a torchlit procession of nearly 1,000 men in full Viking armor through the streets. Their destination: a masterfully built full-size Viking longship. The night culminates with all 1,000 torches being hurled into the vessel, creating a massive, glorious inferno that lights up the sky. It's a fittingly brutal and beautiful way to burn the past and welcome the future. 42. In Mongolia, wrestling, or buck, is more than a sport. It's a sacred national tradition steeped in ritual. Before a match, hulking wrestlers perform the eagle dance, a graceful imitation of a soaring bird meant to display their power and respect for nature. They compete in a special vest that leaves the chest exposed, a symbol that the wrestler has nothing to hide and is competing with pure strength and an honest heart. It's a fascinating combination of raw power, spiritual ceremony, and just enough pageantry to make it truly unforgettable. 43. The Palio di Siena is not a horse race. It's 90 seconds of pure, unadulterated chaos that happens twice a year in the heart of a medieval Italian city. 10 riders, representing their city districts, race bareback on powerful horses around the main square. The rules are simple. There are almost no rules. Jockeys are encouraged to whip and shove their rivals, and it's common to see riders thrown into the dirt. The rivalry between districts is so intense that the victory brings a lifetime of glory, and defeat brings a year of shame. It makes the Kentucky Derby look like a casual trot in the park. 44. The Tidong people of Borneo have a post-wedding tradition that tests a couple's willpower like no other. For 3 days and 3 nights after their marriage, the bride and groom are strictly forbidden from using the bathroom. At all. They are closely monitored by family members and given just enough food and water to survive the ordeal. Enduring this trial is believed to bless the couple with a long, happy, and fertile marriage. It's a truly extreme test of self-control, and it guarantees that the honeymoon phase starts with an unforgettable sense of relief. 45. How do you physically manifest the pain of grief? For the Dani women of Papua New Guinea, the answer was a tradition of extreme sacrifice. Following the death of a loved one, a woman would have the upper part of her finger amputated in a ritual known as ikipalin. This act was a way to embody the searing pain of loss and appease the spirits of the dead. Though now banned, the hands of many elder women in the tribe serve as a permanent, living testament to the family members they have lost and the profound grief they have endured. 46. In India, your wedding might be crashed by a group of uninvited guests who, instead of being thrown out, are welcomed as a blessing. The Hijras, a community of transgender women, traditionally arrive at weddings and other celebrations to sing and dance. They perform until they are given money and gifts, a payment which is not considered extortion but a vital offering. Receiving a blessing from the Hijras is believed to ensure a happy, fertile, and prosperous marriage for the new couple. It's a beautiful and complex tradition where faith, commerce, and performance all intersect. 47. Forget boxing or MMA. The national sport of Turkey is a contest of pure strength and technique that has been practiced for over 650 years. Oil wrestling. Two powerful men, wearing nothing but traditional leather trousers called kispet, are drenched from head to toe in olive oil. Their goal is to pin or lift their opponent, a nearly impossible task given the slippery conditions. It's a grueling primal battle of wits and muscle, where victory is only achieved through a perfect, unyielding grip on an opponent who is designed to be impossible to hold. 48. In Thailand, the New Year's celebration of Songkran is not marked by a quiet countdown, but by a 3-day nationwide water war. From April 13th to 15th, the entire country transforms into a playground of joyous, aquatic chaos. Armed with super soakers, buckets, and hoses, locals and tourists alike take to the streets to douse anyone and everyone they see. The water is a symbol of purification, washing away the misfortunes of the previous year to make way for a fresh start. It is, without a doubt, the most fun, refreshing, and soaking wet way to ring in the new year. So the line between sacred tradition and collective madness is a thin one. Now it's your turn to be the judge. Which one of these 48 traditions is the most indefensible? Which one absolutely needs to be left in the history books for good? The comments section is now a global courtroom. I want to see your verdict. And if you believe the world is infinitely more interesting than we're told, you've just found your channel. Subscribe